Good evening. I'm Jerry Mills. I never thought I'd live to see the day that Hillary Clinton would make righteousness the #1 issue of her presidential campaign. But it's true. By condemning Donald Trump for his potty mouth and saying that we should not elect him president because he's an unrighteous person, that we should elect Hillary Clinton instead. Presumably, she is a righteous person. You are judged by the same standard that you use to judge other people. Let's see just how righteous Hillary Clinton is. I'm not going to go over the whole gamut. Let's narrow it down to a single circle of hell, according to Dante Alighieri. According to Dante Alighieri, hell has 9 levels. The first level, or first circle of hell, is for people who are not righteous, but not really all that bad either. The 9th circle of hell is reserved for Satan himself. So you have to figure from that the 8th circle of hell is for the very, very worst sort of people. So rather than go through all 8 levels of hell, let's go directly to level number 8. Level 8, or circle 8 of hell, has 10 levels, and I'm not going to go over all 10, just a few. 1 is for panderers and seducers. Well, politicians do that anyway. Flatterers, politicians do that. Now we get into something more serious, barraters. A barrater is an influence peddler, someone who occupies a position of trust, usually a political position, and sells the influence of that position for money or some other benefit. Now, that's pretty much what Hillary Clinton did as Secretary of State. When she was Secretary of State, about 1/2 of the people who appeared before her begging for favors were people who contributed millions of dollars to that phony Clinton Foundation of hers. We can reasonably call it bribery, influence peddling. One example of influence peddling is, well, we know that she received $10 million from Saudi Arabia before she became Secretary of State. She received an undisclosed amount, believed to be $15 million, while she was Secretary of State. And that was about the same time that she approved billions of dollars in armaments, weapons, to Saudi Arabia, which is one of the world's most notorious supporters of terrorism. Hypocrisy, we don't even have to leave that point to see the hypocrisy of it. That same person who is approving billions of dollars in weapons for sponsors of terrorism is trying to disarm honest American citizens. Hypocrites, well, we just got into that. Thieves. There we get into probably the Clinton Foundation. Their theft. You got to figure that politicians make the laws. They never make laws against something that they are doing. So let's be careful about calling it thievery, but in practical terms, it is thievery. Let's take one example. The earthquake relief for this island nation of Haiti. A few years ago, they suffered a terrible earthquake. Something like $2 billion of earthquake relief passed through the hands of the Clinton Foundation. Most of it was squandered or diverted to corporations. I'll give you an example of each. Cost overruns. One of the things that was built supposedly as earthquake relief was a $25 million post office. No, it wasn't all that big. It was just a little hut. Couldn't have cost more than a few $1,000s to build. In practical terms, that was theft. Diversion of money. Even before the earthquake struck, corporations were planning to build a $200 million industrial park in the northern part of Haiti, nowhere near the earthquake epicenter. But $200 million in earthquake relief funds were diverted to build that industrial park. Money that corporations would have spent themselves as an investment was a gift from what was supposed to be going to people who had suffered from the earthquake. False counselors, we know about the people who have lied and taken the Fifth Amendment and claimed to have forgotten on behalf of Hillary Clinton to keep her out of prison. But we can also look at the people she has used in her campaign. Mr. Khan, for example, and the beauty queen, Machado. We can feel sorry for Mr. Khan's loss, but that doesn't give him license to lie to the American people. Mr. Khan is a lawyer. He knows what the Constitution says. Yet he lied about the Constitution when he was speaking on behalf of Hillary Clinton. He works for the Clinton Foundation. He didn't tell you that. Captain Khan died trying to protect America from the kind of people that Donald Trump is trying to keep from entering America. The elder Khan is using his influence as a lawyer to get visas for people, for Muslims from terrorist-torn countries, but not for Christians from those countries. That is fishy. Alicia Machado, she claimed that Donald Trump called her Miss Piggy and Miss Housekeeping. We don't actually know that to be true, but we have good reason to believe that she lied. She claimed that Donald Trump was responsible for her having an eating disorder, but him calling her those names. But she said earlier in an interview with the Washington Post that years before she met Donald Trump, she had eating disorders. If she lied about that, she'll lie about other things. Hillary Clinton attracts liars to her cause, and she apparently, almost obviously, counsels them to lie on her behalf. Sores of discord. There can be no more serious form of discord than war. As Secretary of State, she was pushing for a war with Libya to overthrow the legal leader of that country. Barack Obama could have gone either way, but Hillary Clinton was pushing it. And by bringing about a war, she created a vacuum that was a boon for ISIS. She voted for the Iraq War, and at this time she is advocating a no-fly zone against Russia in Syria, which will almost certainly result in war with Russia. If she's elected president, we will be at war with Russia within 6 months, and she will love it because she loves war. Falsifiers. There are many, many examples of her falsifying documents and other things. I'll give you one. In 1975, when she was a lawyer, as a favor to a prosecutor, she agreed to represent someone she knew was guilty of raping a 12-year-old girl. She filed a false deposition to the judge, claiming that that little girl fantasized about older men, that she wanted to believe that she'd had sex, that she made up the whole story, and that that little girl needed psychiatric evaluation. She falsified many other things, but so much for her being a champion of women and children. She's got a war going on women. She's the one who is making righteousness an issue of this campaign. To her, it's the major issue of the campaign. Not war, not her love of war, not the money laundering scheme of the Clinton Foundation, not influence peddling, not mishandling of classified information, but her own righteousness compared to that of Donald Trump. Between the two, warts and all, I'm supporting Donald Trump, and I urge you to do the same. Thank you. Good day.